Brace yourselves because today's story is going to melt your heart, make your eyes water, and remind you exactly why Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo are not just superstars, they're angels walking among us. We've followed their breathtaking romance, we've cheered through their magical pre-wedding moments, and we've even cried happy tears during their baby's gender reveal. But just when you thought their story couldn't get any more inspiring, something extraordinary has come to light. Something they didn't even want you to know. Because while the world was busy celebrating their love, Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo were secretly out there changing lives in the most humble, selfless, and heartwarming way imaginable. Yes, you heard it right. Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo donated millions to an orphanage, and they did it without telling a soul. No cameras, no press, no spotlight. Just love. Pure, quiet, unstoppable love. Let that sink in for a moment. They didn't do it for praise. They didn't do it for publicity. They didn't even want the world to know. But the truth, as always, has a way of shining through. And when it did, it sent shockwaves of love and admiration through every corner of the internet. The kind of story that lifts your spirit and makes you believe that humanity is still alive and well. The kind of story that makes you proud to be part of this community that follows not just their careers, but their hearts. So how did this secret miracle come to light? It started when a small, struggling orphanage located in the outskirts of South Korea received a life-altering financial boost. One day, they were barely managing to feed their children, and the next, they were handed a multi-million-dollar donation, completely anonymous. The caretakers were stunned. The director couldn't believe it. Who would do something so huge, so generous, and yet ask for no credit? First, they thought it must be a mistake. But when the bank confirmed the donation and the papers were signed with love, but without names, questions began to swirl. And then something magical happened. A staff member at the orphanage who had once worked with various charitable organizations recognized a handwriting sample in a brief note that came with a donation. And in that simple, heartfelt note were the words, "To the children whose futures deserve to be full of joy, wonder, and love, this is for you." The style, the sentiment, choice of words. It had all the fingerprints of something familiar, something sincere, something deeply romantic and warm. And soon whispers began. Could this be Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo? First, fans were skeptical. Seemed too pure, too good to be true. But as more details surfaced, photos of new construction at the orphanage, upgraded kitchens, remodeled dormitories, brand new classrooms, and brand new medical equipment, it became clear. Someone powerful was behind it. And then came the gentle confirmation from a trusted insider in the couple's circle. A friend who, on the condition of anonymity, said these words. They didn't want anyone to know. They just wanted to give. They said if the world ever finds out, let it be through the joy of the children, not their names. Cue the tears. Because that right there, that's not just generosity. That's grace. That's humility. That's what happens when two people not only love each other but decide to spread that love beyond themselves and into the world. Now let's talk about what this donation did. Because this wasn't just a check written and forgotten. No, this was transformative. The orphanage, which was once struggling to maintain electricity and heat during cold winter nights, now has state-of-the-art infrastructure. The children, who once slept in creaky old bunk beds and studied by dim lights, now rest peacefully in newly furnished rooms with colorful bedding, desks, and bookshelves. There's now a medical wing fully staffed with nurses, a recreational area with playgrounds, art supplies, musical instruments, and even a small cinema room for movie nights. Can you even imagine? Children who once felt forgotten now feel seen, loved, and safe. All because Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo, two people with the power to influence millions, chose to change lives without ever needing applause. And let's talk about your reactions because wow, the internet exploded in the most beautiful way. Fans started trending hashtags like hashtag #MinKyo Hearts of Gold, hashtag Inspired by MinKyo, and hashtag Love in Action. Thousands began sharing their own stories of kindness, some even organizing local charity events in honor of the couple. One fan in the Philippines began a school supplies drive for local children and dedicated it to Lee Min-ho and Hye Kyo's act of love. Another in Kenya started a reading club to uplift orphan teens, all because they were inspired by this one moment of quiet, powerful giving. And the ripple effect didn't stop there. A 12-year-old girl at the orphanage, now surrounded by colorful art supplies and her very first piano, wrote a letter. She didn't know who had given her this gift, but she felt the love behind it. In her letter, she wrote, "Dear angels, thank you for giving me a bed that doesn't creak and a room with colors. Thank you for the toys, the books, and the piano. When I grow up, I want to help kids like me too. Tell us you're not sobbing right now. Go on. We'll wait. Because this is what real legacy looks like. Not just photo shoots or movie roles or red carpet glitz. Though Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo have certainly given us those too. But actions that outlive the headlines. Actions that shape futures. Actions that speak louder than any interview or social media post. Let's just pause and reflect together. What would the world look like if more people gave like this? If we stopped measuring love in likes and started measuring it in impact? Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo just showed us the answer. It would look more hopeful, more beautiful, more human. So to Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo, if by some miracle you see this message, know that your love story has become something far greater than just romance. Has become a movement, message, a miracle. You have reminded us all that love doesn't end at the edge of your own home. It reaches out into the lives of others, quietly, humbly, powerfully. And to our dear viewers, our incredible, passionate, loving family, we have a challenge for you. Do something kind today. Doesn't have to be big. Doesn't need a hashtag. Just one simple act of love. Share a meal. Send a message. Donate a book. Hug someone who needs it. Because if this story teaches us anything, it's that the smallest gestures can become the biggest blessings. Now we want to hear from you. What did this story make you feel? Did it inspire you to act? If you could say one thing to Lee Min-ho and Song Hye Kyo right now, what would it be? Drop your thoughts in the comments. We're reading every single one. And remember, sometimes the quietest heroes make the loudest difference. Sometimes the most beautiful love stories don't just end in weddings. They blossom into kindness that changes the world. Until next time, stay soft, stay kind, and keep believing in love that gives.